All right. Good afternoon, AAA members, and thank you for joining us for our week 2 of our virtual traveler showcase. We have a fantastic presentation for you today on just a few of the great destinations you can experience with Club Adventures, and we'll get to that very soon. But before we begin, I want to go over some quick housekeeping. You will be muted throughout the presentation today, so if you have a question, please feel free to type it into the questions box, and we will answer as many questions as we can at the end. There are handouts included in the presentation that you're more than welcome to download and keep. Our travel professionals here at AAA also have them available and can help you walk through the details. This presentation is being recorded, and we will be sending you a link to the recording by email after the event today. There will also be a short survey included in the email as well, so if you could please take a few moments and complete the survey for us, your feedback is greatly appreciated. We have presentations this week through Thursday, January 28th. So if you would like to see the full schedule of presentations for the Traveler Showcase, you can do so at aaa.com/Traveler Showcase. And we will have information about how you can get in touch with our knowledgeable AAA travel professionals at the end of the presentation. And with that, I am happy to have Club Adventures here with us today. Club Adventures is your key to seeing the world through a local lens. Whether you're looking for a self-drive road trip through your own backyard or a guided journey halfway across the world, Club Adventures can help get you there. Club Adventure believes adventure moves us all differently and that no two adventures are alike. With a variety of travel styles and over 1,000 adventures around the globe, there's something for every kind of traveler. I am pleased to introduce our speaker today, Lucas Bialecki, Head of Sales for AAA's preferred travel partner, Club Adventures. Thanks for joining us today, Lucas.
Yeah, you bet. Thank you for inviting me, Nathan. We appreciate being here, and it's a pleasure to present to everyone at AAA Oregon, Idaho. So let's jump into a little bit about Club Adventures, and starting off with the roots of our story. We started in 2016 when we launched our AAA exclusive vacations brand. So we are a fully AAA club-owned tour and vacation provider that is exclusive to AAA and our members. And in 2018, we greatly expanded with our launch of Club Adventures, which is our small group adventure travel product that journeys to all 7 continents around the globe. So we truly have a travel style for every traveler out there, whether it's with our AAA exclusive vacations brand and our themed tours, which are focused on special events around the United States, like the Cherry Blossom Festival in Washington, D.C., or the Albuquerque Balloon Fiesta in New Mexico. Or if you're looking at our Club Adventures brand, which again are our small group adventures all over the world. Within the Club Adventures brand, we have special Women Explorers departure dates, which are special dates curated by women for women and hosting with female local leaders. And then finally, if you like your adventure a little bit closer to home, we have what we call American Experiences, which are fully independent, self-driving road trip vacations right here in our own backyard in the United States. So the big thing we like to emphasize at Club Adventures is adventure is definitely not a one-size-fits-all travel style. I think sometimes people hear the word adventure and they think, oh, I'm not that active, or maybe I'm getting up there in years, I'm not an adventure traveler. And that couldn't be further from the truth. Adventure means something different to everyone, and it can be found both here at home or abroad, and it can appeal to a vast different type of traveler that's out there, whether you're talking about someone in their 20s or someone in their 70s. We definitely have someone to fit everyone's needs. So what makes Club Adventures different? The big thing for me as a traveler is our small group size. Our groups are never more than 16 travelers maximum. Having a group that small is really a special travel experience. You get much more personalized service, and you really get to know everyone in the group so much better. They're always going to be hosted by one of our local leaders. A local leader is a local guide that's either from the country or the region that you're visiting. So they're there every step of the way to showcase their local culture and share their history with you and really make the destination come alive. As far as meals, if we do include meals in an itinerary, we like to say they're meals that matter. We want to showcase the cuisine of a destination. So sometimes we even have multi-course cooking classes where everyone in the group participates in helping to prepare their own meal. Sometimes we're invited into a local family's home and we're doing a home hosted meal and breaking bread with some of the local people. So we're always looking for those types of authentic connections with the local people as much as possible with Club Adventures. And we're looking for inspired experiences that are a little bit more off the beaten path and sometimes, not what you expect or things that you would not see as an independent traveler. We also like to say we travel unscripted because on our itineraries, we like to give our travelers a fair amount of free time. We feel that free time is important to write your own script and be able to have some of your own adventures independently. And then finally, we have an industry leading deposit policy we call movable deposits. So once you put down a deposit with Club Adventures, if your plans change, anytime you're outside of your final payment due date, you can just work with your local AAA agent and we can move your deposit, change your travel plans to a future departure date. So that's why we call them movable deposits. Very, very flexible. All right, so let's get into some of Club Adventure's small group tours. And we have over 1,000 itineraries, believe it or not, to all 7 continents. So to show you everything that Club Adventures offers would be nearly impossible. So what we thought for AAA's Traveler Showcase is we would feature some of our best and most popular tours in the region of Northern Africa and the Middle East. So let's start with Egypt Uncovered. So this is a phenomenal itinerary to Egypt, which is really one of those iconic once in a lifetime destinations that starts and ends in Cairo. And the itinerary in total is 10 days, 9 nights in Egypt. So when you're looking at our itineraries, we don't include your overnight flight as one of the nights of the tour. Most of your meals are included, but again, we do offer a fair amount of free time and some time to get away from the group and enjoy some meals on your own as well. So we include breakfast daily, 3 lunches, and 4 dinners. Of course, one of the highlights will be the Great Pyramids of Giza, which you see pictured on the right hand of your screen. We have a phenomenal cruise down the Nile River, and we'll get a chance to wander through the streets of ancient Luxor as well. I mentioned earlier that we're looking for the most authentic connections possible. And a good example of that is during the itinerary when we meet with a local Nubian family and have dinner with them in their home. And so this is one of those home hosted meals that I was talking about earlier. And if you're not familiar, the Nubian people are one of the most ancient cultures in the world. They hail from northern Sudan and southern Egypt. And so it's a phenomenal way to interact and connect with some of the local people. And also the women in the group will enjoy meeting with some of the local Nubian women to learn about their lives and the uniqueness of being a woman in the Nubian culture. So much to learn from the local people. And it's a good example of what we look for on our itineraries all over the world. We're also looking for inspired experiences. So of course, one example is spending some time to enjoy the iconic pyramids of Giza, which you see pictured on this slide. And, it's one of the ancient wonders of the world. And I think every traveler dreams someday of standing in front of the pyramids or taking a camel ride in this area. So it's something that we definitely don't rush our travelers. We give them plenty of time to soak in the experience. Another highlight is exploring the Valley of the Kings, which is an iconic burial resting place for some of the pharaohs of ancient Egypt. So if you're a history buff, Egypt couldn't be a better destination for you. There's so much to learn about ancient Egyptian history, as well as the local history and culture. As far as accommodation, one thing I haven't mentioned is we stay at locally owned hotels and properties. And so, we feel that accommodation is very much still a part of the experience. On this trip, we're staying in 3.5 to 4-star hotels, but they are locally owned. And so they have that much more local character to them. One of our highlighted stays is when we're in Aswan and we get a chance to rest our head at the highest point in Aswan and overlooking some incredible, stunning views of the Nile River beyond. And our accommodation for 3 nights on this itinerary is sailing along the Nile on a luxury river cruise. So we have 3 nights on board the ship where all of our meals are included, and every day we have sightseeing activities off the ship that we include, where we go out and explore some of the ancient sites along one of the world's most iconic rivers. And then earlier, I also mentioned how we like to travel unscripted. We like to give our travelers some free time to have some independent exploration. So you do have some free time in both Cairo as well as Luxor. And our local leaders are always there to give you tips or recommendations of different things you can see or do during your free time, or even join you when you're wandering around and exploring. So, always use the resources and knowledge of our local leaders because they won't steer you wrong. They're absolutely incredible. Now, another destination I wanted to show you is called Moving Morocco in Northern Africa. So Moving Morocco is from Casablanca to Marrakesh over a period of 11 days, 10 nights. Again, several of your meals are included. And some of the highlights are sleeping out under the stars of the Sahara Desert, the world's largest desert. We also wander through the old city of ancient Fez. And when we're in the Sahara, we do some 4-wheel driving through the desert, which is a lot of fun and an experience you are sure not to forget. So a couple of inspired experiences we include for you in the group is drinking tea with some of the local people. So again, you can see a theme here. We're trying to interact more with the local people and not just viewing things from, our bus, and really interacting with the local culture as much as possible. And a tea ceremony is such a big part of the region and Morocco in general. So that's going to be a treat for everyone. Also, when we're in Marrakesh, we wander through the food market there, which is an outdoor market that is very active at night as well. And our local leader will take us through and we'll do some olive tastings and try some local pastries and other delicacies. So I remember doing this a few years ago with our local guide, and it's a lot of fun. It's such a vibrant, very special market, and I can still smell some of the smells and see the snake charmers that are out there. So I think you'll love that experience. Again, some examples of our authentic accommodation. We actually spend 1 night in a luxury desert camp in the Sahara Desert, surrounded by endless sand dunes. And so inside your tent, you actually have a bed with cloth linens, and believe it or not, you actually have a private bathroom inside your tent as well. So it's almost like having a 3.5 to 4-star hotel room with cloth walls. For the adventurous in the group, however, if you want, you can drag your mattress outside into the desert and you can sleep out underneath the stars. And obviously you're in a part of the world where there's very little to no light pollution. And it's something we highly recommend if you're one of the adventurous sorts in the group. We also stay at some phenomenal, what are called riads. These are very traditional homes that were larger homes that were converted into hotels. and they're also in phenomenal locations. So one of the riads that we stay at is literally a stone's throw away from Ait Ben Hadu, which is a temple complex we visit on this trip, and also a UNESCO World Heritage Site. And then, of course, we want to highlight some meals that matter. Always, food is such a big part of travel. And so here's another example of where we get more interactive, and we include a multi-course Moroccan cooking class with a local chef. And you'll actually bring some techniques back home with you and some recipes as well. So that meal is a lot of fun. And then we also get a chance to visit the Amal Association for lunch on one of the days. And this is where we learn how this organization helps empower women to be self-sustainable through the training and job placement program that they have there. So really progressive organization, and leading the way for women in Morocco. And then the other tour we wanted to highlight in this region is Jordan and our iconic Treasures of Jordan itinerary. This is one of our most popular itineraries. And you can see round trip Amman, Jordan, over an 8-day, 7-night period with most of your meals included. And this is a chance to swim in the iconic Dead Sea, see Petra, and the small town of Petra, but also the historic temple complex there. You can see the treasury on the photo right there in Petra. And then we also overnight for 1 night in a Bedouin camp. So again, interacting more with the local people is always a huge, huge focus for us. So floating in the Dead Sea, the saltiest body of water in the world. It's, almost impossible to not float in the Dead Sea, and an experience that I think everyone, if they have the opportunity, should have. I did it a few years ago when I was in Israel, and absolutely incredible. So very, very mineral-rich waters and very therapeutic, they say, as well. And then, of course, we explore Petra. We have an opportunity to go back in the evening as well and see the iconic, treasury and some of the other structures there beautifully lit up at night. And so for those of you that are Indiana Jones fans, you might recognize this from Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. That was the one with Sean Connery as Harrison Ford's father. So it's just one of those iconic sites that I think every traveler hopefully should have a chance to see once in their lifetime. And then, of course, some awesome meals we include, including the night that we spend in the Bedouin camp, and we have a home-cooked meal of traditional Jordanian cuisine included for our group. And then when we're in Petra, in the historic small town, we learn the tips and tricks of making some of the delicious Jordanian food and some of the specialties that they have there. And so you can see some of our travelers on the right enjoying that experience with us. And then again, it's very important for us to give you some time to explore independently. And when we're in Petra, you can opt to visit the high place of sacrifice. So this is for some of the more active members of the trip. It's a bit of a hike. It takes about a half hour to get to the top. And if you do it, you can see remarkable views of Petra, the ruins, as well as the small nearby town. And so you can see that picture from the high place of sacrifice on the right there. And we also have free time in Amman, which is the largest city in Jordan. It's our, where we start and end the tour, and it's our final evening of the trip. And so oftentimes our travelers like to experience a Turkish bath. And that's something that I've done in the past that I highly recommend. It would be a great way to end your experience with us in Jordan. Now I'm going to switch gears completely and talk about some of our adventures right here in our backyard in the United States, where we call our self-driving road trips American experiences. And so the open road is calling. So American experiences are fully independent, customizable road trip vacations that really bring the Club Adventures difference to life. So the difference with these trips is they're not group tours. It's as many people as you have in your travel party. It could be as few as one person, one or two people. And we do have some adventures that we allow you to pre-book and help you build an incredible adventure road trip itinerary that you can work with your local agent on. So these packages include all of your hotel stays, and we hand select very centrally located hotels that are 3 to 4 diamond properties. So you know they're great AAA approved quality properties. And we select them with safety protocols in mind. So not to worry there. You know, we've definitely vetted these hotels so that they all follow those same protocols. Parking is always included in these packages for free, which is nice because some of these 3 to 4 diamond properties, parking can be quite a bit more added to your bill. So parking's always free. We do also have some featured hotel upgrades that are offered depending on the destination that you're looking at with your agent. So be sure to ask them if we have any upgrades available, and your agent can inquire for you. So we really want to make putting together a road trip here in the United States easy for you and simple. So let's use San Francisco as an example. Here are 3 hotels that we have contracts with that you can choose from. The Hotel Emblem, the Argonaut Hotel, and Marriott Fisherman's Wharf. So we look for hotels that really showcase the character of any given destination and are also in phenomenal locations. And as I mentioned, there are 3 to 4 diamond, so you know the quality is there as well. And then we have done a lot of research for you in the areas that we offer. So we've already put together a selection of off the beaten path excursions and adventures that you can pre-book with your AAA agent to fully curate your package and basically make it tailor-made just for you. So in addition to the add-on adventures that your agent can help pre-book for you, we're also going to give you our suggestions of extras that you can do during your free time. Our team's worked really hard at putting together a list of what our favorite things are in these areas, and we'll be sure to share those with your agent and with you. So let's take a quick peek at some of our 2021 road trips that we offer through American Experiences. Let's start off way in the northeast corner of our country in Maine with Bar Harbor and Portland. So one thing I do like to emphasize about these itineraries, again, remember, these are fully customizable packages. So we give you a suggested itinerary of 2 nights in Bar Harbor and 2 nights in Portland. But again, realize these are fully customizable packages, so you can add extra nights, you can remove nights, you can remove entire cities or towns. So let's say you just wanted to do a single hotel stay in Portland, Maine, and you wanted to stay there for 5 or 6 nights. We can do that for you. Another thing that's included in all of these packages is a Hertz rental car. So if you book your airfare with your AAA agent and Club Adventures, a Hertz rental car will be waiting for you upon arrival at the airport. And if you want, you know, we can take the Hertz rental car out if you're doing a big road trip and want to use your own vehicle. So that we have that flexibility as well. No matter what, at all the hotels, hotel parking is always going to be included for free. We also include free Wi-Fi in your room. And then, of course, you have breakfast daily included as well. So a great value if you consider everything that's included in these packages. Now, what can you add to your adventure in Bar Harbor and Portland? Here is a selection of some of the trips that we offer, not all of them. So your agent will review all of the different adventures that you can add on. But as a few examples, you can do a lighthouse bike tour. You know, they have some pretty iconic historic lighthouses that dot along the main coast. That would be a great way to experience the scenery. We also offer an outdoor painting class right on the coast as well. So a great location to paint some iconic coastal scenery. For those that are a little bit more adventurous, there's a hovercraft ride that you can enjoy by Shoreline. And then we also offer another biking tour around the peninsula, as well as an old port culinary walking tour. And again, these are just a few examples. There are more adventures you can look at adding on with your AAA agent. And then again, we'll give you some of our favorites, some of our team's favorite things to do in this area. You can see the top picture there is a picture of what they call the bubbles. So you can do a little hike in Acadia National Park to the top of the park there, and they have these huge, huge boulders that they call the bubbles. And obviously it's some pretty dramatic scenery up there as well. So that's one of the fun things you can do. Another example is driving to the top of Cadillac Mountain for a beautiful sunrise, or maybe driving to nearby Kennebunkport, Maine, right on the coast there, and browsing for some art at Dock Square. So much to do. And again, we want to make your adventure easy, but also give you some suggestions when you have some free time of some of the fun things you can do. Now, a little bit closer to home here, we have San Francisco and wine country. So again, we suggest 2 nights in San Francisco and 2 nights in Sonoma, but there are many people that would want more time in wine country, or they, maybe want to bypass San Francisco altogether and just do a single hotel stay in Sonoma. We can help you make those arrangements and again, customize the program to you. If you're not driving your own car and you want to fly down to San Francisco, again, we can help you with the airfare. We will include a Hertz rental car for you at the airport upon arrival. And like before, hotel parking, Wi-Fi, breakfast daily is always included with all of these packages. So many great fun things to do in San Francisco, but some of the adventures you can pre-book with us include a Chinatown culinary tour. Always a lot of fun learning about the Chinese cuisine that is fantastic there. They also have a teas, temples, and beatniks tour that you can take, which is a walking tour with a local San Francisco guide. So you can see, you taste some Chinese tea, visit some of the temples there, the Buddhist temples, and then also learn about the beatnik history from the 1950s and 1960s. Of course, the redwood forest is always a big draw, and not far from San Francisco, you can drive up to the redwoods and do a little bit of hiking. And once you're in wine country, there's so many other activities you can do, including a wine by bike tour, which visits wineries with a local guide by bicycle. And you can also do a sunrise hot air balloon ride, complete with a champagne toast, which is always a great way to start the day. And then some of our favorite activities in this area, of course, so much to do in San Francisco. One of my favorite things to do, never gets old, is driving over the iconic Golden Gate Bridge. Or when you're in wine country, as another example, you can pack up a picnic and dine al fresco when you're at a Napa winery. So nice way to enjoy some of the local wine there and a snack for lunch. Now down in Texas, we have San Antonio and Austin. Again, our suggested itinerary is 2 nights San Antonio and 2 nights Austin. Both great cities with a lot of history and unique culture. So when you're in Austin, you can pre-book a secret food tour of downtown Austin, which sounds like a lot of fun. They also have a historical bar hopping tour. So if you want to try some different cocktails at some of the historical bars in Austin, that's always a blast. If you're into spooky tours, they do a phenomenal ghost tour as well. We have a brew bus tour. And if you're a history buff, we have a missions tour exploring some of the old Spanish missions that are in this area, which are designated UNESCO World Heritage Sites. So you can see several of those beautiful missions when you're in San Antonio. Some of our favorite activities, of course, when you're in San Antonio, one of the iconic things to do is strolling along the river walk, which you see in the picture in the middle there. And it's beautiful both during the day for lunch or at night for dinner, and they beautifully light up the river walk at night. So it's a great part of town. Another fun thing to do is a jazz night at Blue Star Brewing Company. I mean, how fun does that sound? That's a great night of live jazz. And of course, Austin, being known for music, is famous for the South by Southwest Music Festival that happens every year. So if you're visiting in mid-March, definitely talk to your local agent about what are the happenings at South by Southwest that you can potentially pre-book and get involved with. So there are a few examples for you. We have a number of other American experiences destinations that we offer, whether you're looking for something on the East Coast in places like Pennsylvania to Gettysburg and Lancaster and Amish country, or Philadelphia and Hershey, where you can go to Hershey Park or learn all about Hershey's chocolate. In the Southeast, we have Charleston and Savannah, which I always recommend in the spring or fall, both beautiful times to visit. We also have Colonial Williamsburg and Virginia. In the Southwest, a little bit closer to home, we've got Grand Canyon and Sedona, which is always one of our most popular programs. Also out west, we have Utah's national parks, so you can do a road trip driving vacations to see 3 of our most iconic national parks. We also have a California coast itinerary as well, which is visiting Southern California, so a little bit different from the San Francisco and Napa tour. And then we have in upstate New York, the New York Finger Lakes, which is pretty unique coming from the West Coast. Not many people from this part of the country have been up to the Finger Lakes, which are absolutely stunning. And then also we have Vermont as well, which is a beautiful little state in the Northeast that you can visit with us and do your own road trip vacation. Now, something I wanted to mention and not forget to talk about is what we call Just Our Crew, which is how you can adventure with us as a private group. So all of the American experiences we talked about this afternoon, those are of course all private because those are independent trips. You can bring your own crew on any of those. But as far as all of the small group adventures with club adventures, doing a private group is very, very easy with us. You have all the benefits of group travel, but without the crowd and without joining other travelers in the group. So as long as you have as few as 6 travelers in your party, you will have your own private group with one of our local leaders. And so no one else will join your group, and you can travel with your own family or friends. Of course, we can work with your travel agent to organize your round trip airfare. And we can even customize your itinerary if you want to, tweak the itinerary, add extra nights, maybe take nights away or add additional activities. So we feel this is, going to be better than ever. Private groups have always been popular for us, but now more so than ever, people want to travel with their own network of people that they trust and, that are comfortable with. So this is a great thing to keep in mind with Just Our Crew. Now that might lead to the question, how are we getting back to travel in this current time during COVID-19? So, of course, just the nature of our small groups being no more than 16 people already help with safer travel. Our local leaders are highly trained and are going to always be aware of social distancing at all times. We're also going to be doing wellness updates pre-trip with all of our travelers. Of course, we always recommend travel insurance, and at AAA, our insurance partner is Allianz Travel. So you can work with your local Oregon, Idaho agent to book Allianz travel insurance with us before your trip. So you'll be fully protected from start to finish. Masks will be worn while on tour. And of course, because we have local leaders with you the entire time and a local network of offices around the world, we have worldwide protocols that are the same whether you're traveling with us to Morocco, Vietnam, or Peru. The local leaders have the same protocols and your safety in mind. So they know where the local healthcare facilities are at all times. And of course, we're going to do everything we can to keep the group comfortable and safe, including sanitizer, of course, being available throughout your travel experience. So we're following the guidelines, of course, of the CDC, as well as other organizations like, ATTA, the American Adventure Travel Trade Association. We have a promotion that's going on for Traveler Showcase. So you can save $50 per person or up to $100 per booking on all Club Adventures small group tours. So not the American Experiences road trips, but our small group tours like the Egypt, Morocco, and Jordan trips we talked about, or any of the other thousands of or hundreds of trips that we have. Any of the trips running from April 1st of this year through December 15th, 2022. So all of our itineraries have departure dates available through not only this year, but all of next year as well. And as long as you book now, between now and February 1st, you can get this discount applied to your booking. So, the code is on the screen, 690602, but just talk to your local AAA Oregon, Idaho agent, and they'll be sure to apply that code to your booking so that you get that $50 per person discount. So Nathan, I'm going to hand it back to you now to go through how to get in touch with us.
Sounds good. And thank you for all the great information you shared with us today, Lucas. The Just Our Crew option is a great way for our members to get back into traveling again. Once travel gets the green light again, of course, knowing who you're traveling with is a fantastic benefit and adds just another layer of comfort. So that's fantastic. I also wanted to say that I've always been fascinated with Morocco, and that destination has always been on my bucket list. And I know quite a few of our agents have actually traveled with you folks to Morocco within the last couple of years, and they absolutely love their experiences. And every single one of them said that they can't wait to go back. So thanks for giving them the opportunity to explore that destination as well. I wanted to thank those of you who have submitted questions during our presentation up to this point. If you do have any questions that you haven't asked yet, now is a great time to submit those to the questions box. But before we get to the questions, I wanted to let you know how you can get in contact with us here at AAA. So you're always more than welcome to reach us by phone. Our 800 number is listed there. When you call that number, you will be put in touch with a AAA travel professional that's nearest you, so at your nearest AAA service center nearest you. If you've worked with one of our travel professionals before in the past, definitely reach out to them first. They're going to be your go-to person. If you haven't worked with one of our travel professionals before, our email is a great way to start. So you can reach us at AAAtravel@AAAoregon.com. Just give us your member number and a brief overview of what you're looking for in your next travel plans, and we can pass it along to a travel professional who can assist you with that. You're always more than welcome to visit us on our website at AAA.com, more specifically at AAA.com/travel. This has tons of great resources for you, and it has information about our travel partners, including Club Adventures. And then our service centers, our AAA service centers are open to the public right now. If you do want to talk with one of our travel professionals, we do ask that you call ahead and schedule an appointment if you would like to meet them in person. We're still dealing with kind of uncertain times right now, so we just want to manage who's coming in and out of the service centers just so that we can ensure everyone is safe. So, Lucas, I'm going to move along to the questions here. Our first question, you had given examples of a few of the excursions offered on some of the itineraries you spoke about today. We had a member that was asking about excursion costs.
Yep, great question. So, all of the pricing is available when you're working with your AAA agent. So, most of the day trips that we offer that you can pre-book are very reasonably priced. You know, a lot of them average between $50 and $70 per person, depending on the activity. With a few exceptions, if there's a hot air balloon ride, you know, that's going to be a bit more cost than that. But if you're working with your AAA agent, they can give you a full list of all the adventures that are available to pre-book and their pricing.
Fantastic, thank you. There was another question about specialty or special dietary needs. Can Club Adventures accommodate these requests on tour, specifically those who may need gluten-free options?
Yeah, absolutely. Great question. And 100% is the answer. Yes, we can absolutely take care of any dietary needs or restrictions that our travelers have. I always recommend you letting your agent know when you're booking so that we can, update our local office and so that your guide will have that information uh, in their notes upon arrival. But then when you join the trip itself, every trip, the first night of the tour, we have a welcome meeting with the local leader and the rest of the members of the group. And usually at that meeting or afterwards, I would just go up to the guide and remind them of the dietary restrictions that you're going to need assistance with, and that should not be a problem at all. We're very used to, gluten-free and vegetarian and veganism and all sorts of things. So not an issue.
Excellent. And then there was a question on Club Adventures returning to service. So I'm sure that you touched on this beginning, Lucas, and I might have missed it. When is your current pause through at this time?
So our current pause is through March, with the exception of the American Experiences self-driving road trip vacations. Those are bookable right now, and I've had agents book their clients as close out as 2 days prior to when they wanted to leave on their trip. So if you want to do an independent self-driving road trip vacation within the US, you can certainly talk to your local agent about booking that now. But as far as the international small group adventures around the world, at this time, April is when we're relaunching those and getting back to travel all over the world.
Fantastic. I think that we have made it through all the questions in my question box right now. Do you have anything that you would like to say before we close out for the day, Lucas?
I just wanted to thank everyone again. You know, adventure travel, it's such a broad term, like I was saying at the beginning of the presentation. And, I think you'd be surprised how many of you out there are actually adventure travelers. So don't be scared away by that term. We get all kinds of travelers, and we have something for everyone, whether it's a budget backpacker level traveler or someone that's looking for authentic connections with local people, but really nice 3.5 to 4 star hotels at the end of the day. So definitely please connect with your favorite local AAA agent. They've all been trained on Club Adventures and know our products very well. And also, as Nathan, you were saying, several of the agents have traveled with us. So it's always great to talk to the knowledgeable agents at your team. So thank you very much.
Yeah, and thank you, Lucas, again for joining us today. And thank you to all of you for taking the time to join us on our webinar today. I know that very busy time, so we appreciate you spending some time with us. And like Lucas said, if you think of any questions after the presentation today, definitely reach out to us at any of the ways we have up on the screen here. We're more than happy to help you with your next travel plans, and we're excited to start talking travel again. So thank you again for joining. I hope that you have a great evening, and we hope to talk to you very soon. Take care.